and else. I've commented it out, and the comment is that this is for like a group of comments, and so it's like forward slash and asterisk and asterisk forward slash to end the comment, and so that's a code that's not going to run in the program. And that was the if statements that we've done in the last tutorial. This one we're going to do the case, the switch statement, and it's very similar to the C++ and the Java one. And so switch is like we done the if statement, and then we had two brackets, and we had a condition met within that. And if it was true or false, if it was true, the if statement was executing. If it was false, it wasn't. Well, we have a condition, we have brackets here, and we're going to pass an integer, a string, or a boolean value to the switch, and we're going to do an integer, a number. It could be like a string, and it could be a character, and what we are going to do is create an integer just above called z equals 3, right? And now we're going to pass that into the switch. But inside the switch, again, you've got the braces. The braces. This is where the case statements are going to be. And inside here, we're going to do z. So we're passing z in, and z is, we know already that z is number 3, but that could be anything. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go case 1. And the colon separates the case value from the code, and so we're keeping it simple. We're just going to print out to screen. Say this one, and after each case you need a break statement. It's a rule that's in C#, that every case has to have a break statement, because it doesn't allow you to fall from one case to another. So you can imagine that it went from case 1 to case 2 to case 3, and executed all the code. That would be no good, because we just want the case that matches the condition in the switch to be executed, and we don't want another one unless it matches the condition in the switch. So we break, what that does, it breaks the whole loop. This block of code, the switch code, it breaks it, and the execution part leaves the switch statement and goes to the next piece of code after the switch statement. And so it's the controls are no longer working in the code within the switch statements. The switch statement is finished with. And so that's what the break does. And so colon, and with this you can have as many pieces of code as you want in a case. Again, it can be like Boolean algebra, complicated Boolean algebra, testing all different conditions and under certain scenarios to do something. It can be mathematical equations, it can be algorithms, it could be anything at all. It can be complicated code, and you use in the cases like we use the if statement and the else ifs, testing all different possibilities, and if they weren't met, we use the else. If they all were false, we use the else to execute code, and we're going to do the same here. It's case, the set is 2, colon, and then it's so we're just printing out to screen that set is to break. Again, you need to insist that you have the break, and then we're going to have another scenario, a case 3, which we know that this is the correct scenario. case 4. And a break again. And we're going to have the default and the colon separates the default from the code that's going to be executed. And we also need a break here as well. Yeah, and so what we've got here is we've got a switch statement. We created an integer called z, and we gave it the value number 3. So this z sitting in the switch statement is number 3, and each one of these is going to go one at a time and test the case for that. So it's going to test this case and see, oh, number 1, is that the z number 1? No, it's not number 1. And so it moves on to the next one. Oh, number 2, is z number 2? No, it's not number 2. Moves on to the next one. Number 3, is z number 3? Yes, z is number 3. Oh, execute this code. It prints the screen, z is 3, and then it breaks out of the case statement. And what happens here, if none of these conditions is met, say it's like 7, z is 7, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's not going to be met. Default, if none of these conditions in the case statements are met, the default is executed, and I will show you. If it goes like here, haha, they were all wrong, right? So that's the same as the else. That's the same as the else statement. When all these conditions were false, the else statement executed its code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it. We put it to 3, and 3. Well, we're going to put it back to 3 and run it because I don't think I'm actually running the code. Right, z is 3. So what happened here is that z is 3. It tested 1, and it said, "Is 1 z? No, it's not." Moved on to 2. It said 2. No, it's not. It said 3. Yes, it's 3, and executed this code here. Z is 3. So if we change it to, and then it didn't do any other cases, it exited. So if we do 1, it's going to execute case 1 and not do 2. It's not going to do 3, and it's not going to do 4, and it's not going to do the default. Set this 1, and so if we change it to 4, set this 4, and if we change it to 2, you begin to see that it's branching out different code for a different scenario. Set this 2. So that's it. That's a switch. It's a case statement, but it's called a switch statement. So you can call it case and you can call it switch. So that's it for C# with switch statements. So again, thank you for your time, and hopefully I've helped someone, even if it's just one person.